Hailey Bieber is planning on taking Justin out of the country to isolate him even further and keep him away from her hate train.
Leave me alone, please. Enough time has gone by.
Wendy Williams passed her mental capacity test, but she pissed off the judge at the same time. And now the judge wants to send her away somewhere where she cannot speak and she won't ever be able to leave.
Clearly, they are lying to me when they say I can go out and do what I want to do. This is what has been done to us.
Kim Kardashian is upset after O.J. Simpson's estate told her that she's not going to get her dead dad's Bible and that she's going to need to cough up a lot more money if she ever wants to see it again. Astravino, a popular TikTok star, has completely ruined her reputation and she wants to blame everyone else but herself.
And Camilla made me look like a bad mom, so why not?
You're sick. Something's wrong with you.
Let's get into it. Let's get into Hailey and Justin Bieber. Now, we all know Hailey Bieber is going through it right now because it seems like it's that time of year, that certain season where we talk about the Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber feud. I mean, granted, Hailey just cannot help herself. She recently liked a post that was hateful towards Selena and Benny Blanco. So she's been a hater since day one. You know, we call it as we see it. But now I think she's trying to play the victim card. I mean, first off, just own up the fact that you did like that post and unliked it. TikTokers aren't just making up these things to go and ruin their relationship. I mean, Hailey's good at doing that on her own. And reportedly, seems like she wants to isolate Justin even further, moving him to a safe location. Let's get into this because an insider says it's no secret that Justin has been through a lot. And now that he's a husband and father and he's figured out that fame isn't what he expected, he and Hailey, honestly though, pause, fame is all he's ever even known. Let's just start there. But he and Hailey are considering leaving the US. The insider said to the outlet, they don't want their kids growing up in LA or New York. They like how someone like George Clooney, who has a wife and kids, lives his life out of the spotlight in Italy. So could you see him moving to like Europe? I mean, maybe back to Canada because he is Canadian. They added that Hailey would, oh my gosh, not them already having plans. Hailey would travel back and forth for work projects, but it's Justin who really wants to settle down and create a safe home environment where their son, Jack, and the other children they plan on having, which honestly kind of sounds good for Justin in my opinion. Like, go and build the compound, go and build your own city, live your own life there, disconnect from the Diddys, maybe even disconnect from the Baldwins, but you know, let's not go there. But Justin and Hailey, there have been tons of reports that they are not doing that great. And I feel like this is another kind of like standard red flag. Like if a couple's not doing well, they just run away from their problems. But it's really hard for Hailey to run away from Selena when she's constantly there. And I'm sure Justin is seeing everything as well. She's been promoting this album that she's doing with her fiance Benny Blanco, and honestly it looks great. It sounds good too. I've been listening to some of her songs like Sunset Boulevard, and she's really coming back. She even said in a Rolling Stone article that she felt like she lost her sound or didn't really know her sound within music, which I think is pretty rich because she's done like 5 albums. So how have you not found your sound? But you know, Selena hasn't, and she told Rolling Stone that Benny, you know, he knows a lot about music. He's made a lot of hits, and he's been able to find what notes she can hit and can't hit. And that's why this new album has a different tone to it. And it does sound different. It's not, definitely not a cappella. It sounds like almost like ethereal. Ethereal? Is that the word? It sounds like angelic, her voice, because they put like, you know, the good filters on it. Benny Blanco knows how to make his wife or his future wife sound good.
But I felt really comfortable, probably too comfortable making this album.
Yeah, it's crazy.
At a house.
I just feel like your guard is down when you're in a house. It's different. You're not like in a studio and they're like, hey, let me take your order. Like, you're in a house, your guard's down. We had our friends come over to make the album. We weren't thinking like, oh my God, like this album is, I didn't even know anyone was gonna hear this at first. I just thought it was a good idea and exercise to try to do.
Now, in my personal opinion, Hailey has a lot to deal with, but step one for me would be to figure out how to get yourself away from this Selena Gomez mess, whether it's therapy, just figuring out how you could avoid going and liking hateful things about her. And I don't know, just trying to be her. But I think a lot of it goes on Justin as well. He's hung up on it. He can't believe that his old music producer best friend is now dating his longtime girlfriend, the same ex-girlfriend who he texted 23 times on the day that he got married to Hailey Bieber. Can you imagine Hailey marrying this man who texted his very public ex, and he texted her 23 times? I would love to know what are in those messages, because there's got to be something. Yet Hailey still went on to marry him. Now, you may have heard of this thing called the 7-part series about Hailey Bieber, and it pretty much breaks down her stalking of Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez. Actually, a lot of my content has been featured in that video, which thank you for the shout out. But it's been trending recently, so a lot of people are talking about the timeline, and it's really rehashing everything that happened in this feud between them. Oh gosh, remember when Kylie Jenner got involved as well, trying to hate on Selena Gomez's eyebrows? Now, this is the situation that happened recently that I think reignited all of it, because she liked this TikToker's post, and it just seems obsessive. So when it comes to the Biebers, I hope they figure out what's best for them and their son, whether it's moving out of Hollywood, maybe figuring out their marriage. Oh, it sounds so complicated. But Selena Gomez isn't going away anytime soon, and neither is Benny Blanco. Let's get into Wendy Williams. It looks like our girl Wendy did well on her test, because she had to take a capacity test for her mental wellness, and she says she aced it. Wendy may be a big step closer to freedom, because a psychiatrist examined her Monday and the results are clear. Wendy's mental capacity is fully intact. Wendy scored a 10 out of 10 on a psych exam called a capacity test, which she was asked 10 questions to determine if she was alert and oriented, and she answered every one of them correctly. The results of the test are radically different from the assessment of The Guardian, who has filed legal docs saying that her condition is getting worse, not better. Wendy was diagnosed with frontal temporal dementia, a diagnosis that she disputes. She was not examined Monday to determine if she has been misdiagnosed. Now, we've all seen Wendy doing these interviews on the phone, going to The View, going on Fox, talking to anyone who will listen to her. Now, I don't know how anyone is buying this, because if it sounds like Wendy, I'm going to believe it's Wendy, but her guardian's lawyer says the media is wrong. TMZ received a letter from the guardian's lawyer, so Sabrina Morrissey's attorney. Keep in mind, TMZ has been very close with Wendy and a big friend throughout this Free Wendy movement, so I can understand why they are receiving a letter. The attorney claims that the media coverage of the guardianship and their client is untrue, inaccurate, incomplete, or misleading. The attorney notes that Sabrina, her guardian, did not create the guardianship. A judge did. He goes on to say that a judge declared Wendy legally incapacitated last month after she was diagnosed with frontal temporal dementia the year before. Now, pretty much here, the lawyer calls out Wendy, claiming that she's lying about her situation. They report the lawyer says Wendy's not been kept from her family, saying that she can call them and see them whenever she wants. Wendy says she's not been allowed visitors, with just a few exceptions, since entering the assisted living facility in New York, which does sound like a luxury prison. I mean, really, people, she wouldn't be dropping notes for help from people if she didn't need it. I can't believe she dropped that. Like, and you know, Wendy's not a desperate person. But she is. Now she is. And honestly, she even looks like coherent here. Very different than what I'm used to seeing like in the documentary. The lawyer says Wendy's receiving excellent medical care. Okay, then why is she speaking out? Saying there's a spa, a workout room, excellent food, a dining room, an outside terrace. So she's hanging out. I mean, yeah, you've got a nice spa and a workout room, but she's also on a floor with the people who have dementia, that really have dementia. Wendy says she's often denied access to many of these perks because she can only leave the 5th floor memory unit with permission. So it's interesting that the lawyer is trying to play everything so cool and calm and collected when we get reports like this, that Wendy Williams' assisted living facility files a police report accusing her niece, Alex Finney, of kidnapping her for dinner. Wendy calls it unbelievable. Can you imagine being Wendy Williams' niece and now being like wanted by police? This article rates so much for Wendy being able to come and go as she pleases and spend time with her family because the facility where she's being housed has filed a police report claiming her niece broke the law by taking her to dinner. There is no way in hell that Alex, her niece, is a bad guy. She's been one of Wendy's champions for a while. I would argue even more than Wendy's son because her son put her in this situation. But here's a recent clip of Wendy with her niece Alex. Does it really seem like Wendy's being kidnapped?
How are you going? You look beautiful today, Wendy. Can you tell us what's going on? We support you.
Happiness.
You look great.
Freedom.
You look amazing, seriously. You look wonderful. You look healthy. You're doing good.
Thank you.
You're safe. I know your family's taking care of you.
Yes.
That's what counts. She's very supportive. We support you, Wendy. You look great.
Now, you guys in the comments agree with me. This person writes, it's crazy that Wendy's own son isn't the face for freeing his mom. Mind you, he stole the money from her too. It's just sad that the person Wendy gave birth to isn't her #1 protector. So yeah, Alex, her niece, took her to an Italian restaurant for dinner, and I'm sure she enjoyed it. Something different instead of that hospital food. Now, the facility is pissed off because they claim that her niece Alex evaded staff by taking Wendy out of the building. So maybe Alex like snuck her out. Can you imagine?
Are you okay?
This is my niece Alex.
Okay. How do you feel about the Free Wendy movement?
How do you feel about it? Fabulous.
Fabulous.
So, our recent events have been unbelievable.
Talk about it. Came back from dinner, and apparently police were called. But I was told that at some point, police were called because the coterie here was saying allegedly that I took my aunt from this facility and whisked her away without any sort of confirmation or approval. Which, according to everything that we have learned in terms of this whole situation, wondering exactly how that correlates with the statements that the Guardian has made, that Wendy is able to come and go as she pleases.
Right.
And that there are no family visits that are blocked.
Clearly, they are lying to me when they say I can go out and do what I want to do. This is my niece Alex. She just flew in from Miami, okay? I just came from the hospital. So we are going out to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate what? I don't know. I'm from the hospital. You know what I'm saying? And of life. Right. And this is what has been done to us.
You could hear in that moment that Wendy's fully aware and actually really hurt. I mean, I'm glad that they two together are challenging the system and publicly doing it. Honestly, Alex is such a great person for her to have for that. I don't think Wendy's son could do the same thing. I don't think he'd have the same effect. Keep in mind that her niece Alex is also in entertainment. She's, I believe, a newscaster in Florida, so she's very outgoing. I think more outgoing than Kevin Jr. is. As I said, Alex is doing a great job at advocating for the Free Wendy movement, and that is why her guardian Sabrina is pissed off. They're talking to the public, and she actually wants to move Wendy to a different facility. TMZ is hip to an email that the judge fired off to Wendy's lawyer. The judge is having trouble hiding her contempt for the former talk show host. The judge references a prior hearing in which she ordered Wendy to be moved to a new facility, somewhere with more restrictions where she definitely cannot freely go. Multiple sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ the judge is pissed off that Wendy has been speaking to the media and grousing about the guardianship, and the facility she's in, calling it a luxury prison. Our sources say the judge has repeatedly warned Wendy not to speak to the media. In another very recent email, the judge says, tell your client that if she wants a jury, she should refrain from trying to poison the jury pool. This comment reads, I hope she gets free, and writes a tell-all. You guys know we would be right on top of that. Let's get into Kim Kardashian and O.J. Simpson. Now, since O.J. has been dead, I didn't think we'd be talking about him, but we are, him and Kim K, because she offered to pay $15,000 for a Bible that her father, Robert Kardashian, had gifted to O.J. Simpson. Now, for the Bible, they sold it for about $2,500, which Robert Kardashian signed and inscribed. Now, an executor of O.J.'s estate, his name is Malcolm, he's selling these assets, and it looks like Kim reached out and offered $15K for the Bible, but it looks like he denied her request because the item was was already under contract with the court to be auctioned off. Now, Malcolm, the estate manager, said, "The amount is why I had no choice, because why would I spend $15,000 of the estate money? Why would I spend $15,000 in attorney's fees to sell it to Kim for $15K? That's a zero-sum game. That's a bad business model. If Kim had offered $150,000 for it, we would have been in court getting disapproved." So he said that you aren't spending that good coin, that you've got more in your pockets than $15K. He added that Kim can bid for it online, which currently has been leading with a $9,800 bid. She might even get it cheaper than $15K, so who knows? Robert wrote in a message to OJ in the Bible saying, "OJ, this book will help. God loves and he will speak to you with his words. Read this book every day. God has a definite plan for your life. You are his child and he will use you again." This comment reads, "Damn, why can't she have her daddy's Bible? That's low-key mean AF." Another person writes, "That's weird. It's her dad. Just give it to her." Fashion Nova even chimed in saying, "I'm surprised she even offered money. Give her daddy's Bible back quickly." Remember, Kim's father died of cancer at the age of 59 in 2003. His birthday was recently. He would have been 81 years old if he was still around. Let's get into Astravino. Now, we've talked about Astravino on the main channel, but I decided let's dive into her today because she and Camilla, the woman that she did an interview with from the Bop House, have been in a feud ever since Ash brought her 2 daughters to her home to be interviewed. Ash revealed that she refused to buy her daughters aged 15 and 12 beds, despite spending a fortune on designer clothes and accessories. Now, I need you guys to see this for yourself. If you have not seen this interview, let's go ahead and react to it. You'll see Camilla and then Astravino sat on a couch with her 2 daughters. In the interview too, she likes to call her daughters like this one and the older one, this one or that one. It's like she never uses her daughters' names. There's something really off here.
Question. Do you have beds?
Well, I don't live with my mom.
But at your mom's house?
No.
I'm going to Zelle you. I'm going to give you money for, I want a bed, 2 mattresses, 2 of them. I want a headboard and 2 nightstands. I'm going to order that before you leave this house today. And I'm going to...
Can you imagine a 22-year-old like chiming in for like a 36-year-old woman to tell her, "I'm going to buy your daughter's beds because you won't"?
Insert the clip of the receipt.
There's a story behind that, okay?
Please tell me why your children don't have beds. Yes.
Because my mom was actually going to go look at a furniture store. Because I don't go anywhere publicly at all.
Because you're just that bitch.
My mom actually told me 2 weeks ago. She was like, or my dad said that. He told my mom to go to...
Also, I know Astravino is like trash famous now on TikTok, but like her kids did not have beds before she even got a little bit of clout online.
A furniture store, and I would give him my card info because here's my card. I have money. But
yes, she's rich.
No, I'm not.
She can show you the motherfucking Louis.
But literally. But she never did that. So, and then, I mean, like she said, she doesn't stay with me. I'm about to move because everything's just getting crazy. And so, and I don't have a guy to come build it, but hopefully I can get somebody to come build it.
I'll pay for it. Y'all are going to have 2 mattresses. You're going to have a whole 9. Okay, we're going to do a room makeover. I'm being for real.
So embarrassing that she has to do this. And the kids are like,
from IKEA, whatever you want. I'll let you pick it out.
Well, thank you. But
no, please.
It's like, yeah, I mean, at my mom's house, though, they have a bed. They have a bed. And actually.
But girl, you got to have, come on.
No, listen. Okay, so when CPS did go to my house, yeah. So, yeah, this guy called CPS on me. Okay, I had a CPS case open. So, and also because of Santos.
Anyway, had bed?
Well, probably. It makes
sense.
sense.
She looked in the room. She said, she looked in the room and took a picture.
Of what?
Of their room. They have a mattress in there.
Okay, at least
yeah.
Okay.
But even then, when they stay over, this one sometimes sleeps with me or on the couch. That one sleeps on the couch.
Now, Camilla, she's playing her cards right because she actually invited Astravino, not because she's a big fan, but to go and show the world who she really is. She actually went onto the Canceled podcast to talk about how she doesn't even like Ash or her personality. She went on there just to pretty much expose her, which I think, is actually some pretty good work because those children, hopefully they'll be living in a better situation now that she's been publicly shamed for it. At least you would hope so.
She lies for clout. She does all this shit for clout. I'm like, so shit. let's have a podcast. Let's have a little fun, right?
The
like
clout trap
you
bait.
want to have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Meaning, and I told her this in person. I said, on live, it's easy to sit on your phone and just talk. You know, you can't read the comments that fast. But when it's like this, I'm like, did you or did you not sleep with blank? Like you can't just avoid it. You can't just not. You can't just sit
You
there
can't
and
just
not
like thank
answer.
someone for a galaxy.
Right. Well, I will always be, for the truth, you know? So having her kids there, it was
such a smart move.
I think when you watch a podcast, you can read body language. You can.
They were so uncomfortable. The girls were so uncomfortable throughout the podcast, not prepared, maybe also coached in a way too, because sometimes they looked at each other like, oh, we're not supposed to be sharing this.
There's so many cameras. And so it's like you'll be able to tell from the facial expressions. And I feel like the girls told the story, maybe not verbally, but with their face. And I needed that. Every time her mom would say something.
What she's referencing is the fact that Astravino was on live advertising that she would tell people why her daughter was in the hospital if they sent her a certain amount of money through donations and gifts. So, hey, if you send like another galaxy, 2 more galaxies, little gifts, money, then I will reveal to you why my daughter is sick in the hospital. Maybe reveal to us why you aren't there to be by her side. Camilla's video is titled The Internet's Worst Mom, and it currently has 11 million views. Let's react to some of the highlights from this podcast.
Did Santos sleep with you?
So, yes, we have done stuff.
And Santos is the guy that's like way too young for her, like 18, 19 years old, 20 maybe 22. I don't know. Way too young for her.
Twice.
With a 19-year-old boy.
I didn't know he was 19 at the time.
So this is before you knew?
Yes.
Claimed before you knew.
Literally. Like, we did it twice, and it was...
She did it twice with a 19-year-old. She's 36 years old, and she didn't know how old he was. She gives me creeper vibes. Like, keep her away from teenage boys.
Literally before Christmas.
Do you have beds?
No.
You think that maybe sometimes she can exploit situations to get views?
I'm gonna be real, yeah.
No, not with them.
She just said yes.
You said send the galaxy to know about my baby girl's health when I was in the hospital.
Oh, that's because, yeah.
And you could tell her daughter's held on to that as well, like building resentment against her mother.
That was like a while back, though. I'm sorry to the Mexicans, okay? I will never use that.
Hispanic community.
Oh, the Hispanic community. I will never use that word again or any racial slurs towards y'all.
He's 23, Ashley.
But still.
Honestly, sometimes I feel like it's weird for like girls to go for younger guys. It's weird for my mom. She's 36.
This comment reads, "This is such a hard watch. She lied, didn't answer questions, didn't take any accountability of the things she's done." Another person thanks Camilla for calling out Ash and her behavior. They write, "I'm so sorry for her daughters. Thank you for allowing her daughters to have a voice. You could tell that they feel so uncomfortable with their mother. I hope their grandparents come and rescue those girls so that they need a stable, loving, protective, and safe environment." Now, I'm sure Astravino wasn't too happy to see the title of that video, and I'm pretty sure she wasn't aware of what it was going to be titled or how bad she would ultimately look after this. And she's now labeled Camilla a clout chaser and accused her of making her look like a bad mother. Well, as she kind of did that yourself.
This is me sending Astravino a text message. I was like, hey, don't forget to send me what the kids want for their beds. And she said, after what I said, I don't know if it's okay. So because after what you went online and you ruined it for your kids, I can't buy them a bed because you won't do it? You're sick. Something's wrong with you. The thing she said was that I got paid $60,000 off of the podcast.
I got paid $60,000? Somebody actually told me that.
Okay, first of all, who told you that? Because that's crazy. I made way more. She said, she was like, oh, like, if I knew the podcast was gonna be yada, 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 I would have asked her for payment. I paid for first class tickets. I paid for her to stay at the Ritz-Carlton, and not to mention, I will pull up the text. I need to send someone a screenshot so that I can use their phone to look at it. She messaged me and was like, hey, do you mind if I extend my flight to stay longer? No, I don't mind because I could extend the flight for free, right? That's all she asked me. She asked me to extend the flight. She was like, oh, I did it anyway. She extended the flight to wherever. I don't know when the hell she stayed till. And then automatically calls the front desk to the Ritz-Carlton and just books an extra night, books an extra 2 nights. I don't even know how many nights she stayed. And then texts me to pay for it. babe, you literally sat on my podcast talking about you have some budget, you have a Louis bag, you have a this, that, and the third. Your kids don't have beds, and you were asking me to pay for an extra night. What happened to budget? What happened to you having security? What happened to all that?
We're going to send some well wishes to Astravino's children, and I feel like Ash is going to get what's coming to her. Let's get into Gene Hackman. Now, it looks like Gene's kids, who are pretty estranged from him, were not mentioned in his will. Gene's will has been revealed, and it turns out every penny of his fortune was left to his wife, Betsy. It's interesting that his children, his son Christopher and his two daughters, Leslie and Elizabeth, are not named in the will. But it looks like the timing of their deaths could change where the money goes, because they were both found unalived at the same time. Betsy leaves most of her assets to Gene, but there's a provision which says if they died within 90 days of each other, it would be considered a simultaneous death. In that case, her will provides all of her assets would go to charity. New Mexico is a community property state, so assuming there's no prenup, Betsy's estate would have a lot of money that would go all to charity. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think the kids deserve the money. They did not reach out to their parents for several weeks, had no idea how they were doing. I mean, keep in mind that Betsy and Gene were laying dead in their home for at least 2 weeks. So the kids weren't really there for them. Do you really think they're entitled to his money? Gene discussed his difficult relationship with his children over the years, admitting that he wasn't around much during Chris's formative years. It does seem like the kids are going to try to get a little bit of that estate, but a majority of it is going to go to charity. What do you guys think of that in the comments below? Let's get into the high school sprinter drama. Now, I saw this all over the internet and I knew we needed to talk about it. Now, this high school junior named Kaylin rounded the corner with a senior named Alea, and it looks like the two bumped arms before Alea swung her baton at the other sprinter, hitting her in the head and possibly fracturing her skull.
The back curve, I had kind of got cut off when I tried to pass it the first time. So I let her go ahead, so I knew like when I got fully on the curve that I was just gonna have to push through and pass her.
Then out of turn 4, a strike with the metal baton to Tucker's head sends her reeling. Officials immediately disqualified the team from Icy Norcom, but the damage was done.
That is so scary and messed up and just really aggressive. It looks like she felt the effects of the attack almost immediately, saying she had a headache that developed quickly after the strike. After visiting a doctor, she was diagnosed with a concussion. Alea, the one who ended up hitting her with the baton, says the video doesn't tell the full story, saying that after a couple of times of hitting her, my baton got stuck behind her back like this and it rolled up her back. She said, I lost my balance when I pumped my arms again. She said they're assuming my character, calling me racial slurs and death threats, all of this off of a 9-second video.
As a person by myself, nobody's gonna believe me because I can admit from the video it does look purposeful, but I know my intentions and I would never hit somebody on purpose. Thank y'all for supporting me. Because nobody else wanted to hear my story except for people that know me and people that know I would never do anything like that. I would never harm anybody. I'm not a fighter. I'm not even confrontation. I wouldn't even do that on purpose.
Do you guys believe her? Let me know in the comments below. This comment reads, how is she trying to gaslight us? I've seen the video clip in 4K. Another person writes, I'm sorry, but how many times is she going to cry?
So someone leaked a different angle of that girl hitting her opponent with the baton at a track meet. Let me show y'all.
And my head hit the wall. Boom. But I had a praying grandmother.
It's no way in this world that was an accident. Call me crazy, but you can literally see she repelled her arm all the way back and hit that girl. And she did it not only once, but twice. She hit it like 3 times.
I mean, the video footage tells a story, and it looks like she's been charged with assault and battery. 1 count of assault and battery for allegedly beating Kaylin Tucker with the baton as they competed in last week's relay race. It also looks like this happened in Virginia, which is my home state. So shout out to Virginia. Yeah, this is scary. Let's get into Ice Spice. Now, it looks like after popular demand, Ice Spice is eating her oats again, and she's gotten her thickness back. Ice Spice's Munchkin fan base can sleep through the night again because she's gained her twerking weight back and is flaunting her stuff. She even released this video of a song called Thick Again, talking about her getting thick again. Good for her. healthy. The Ozempic allegations were hitting, though. I remember we made a video on the main channel titled like Ice Spice has she's melting, or she's lost her ice or her spice. Yeah. Back in August, she shut down Ozempic rumors on X, saying, "I wish y'all never learned the word Ozempic because that's one thing I wish. Oh my gosh, what is Ozempic?" She doesn't even know what it is. She claims that she lost all that weight from going to the gym and eating clean. This comment reads, "Damn, Ice Spice was bullied into eating snacks again." Let's get into Diddy and Odell Beckham Jr. Now, I did not expect to see Odell Beckham Jr.'s name in a Diddy lawsuit. Diddy's alleged attacks were aided by Maui's chief of police. This is according to an amended lawsuit that also named an NFL wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. The woman is now alleging Odell Beckham Jr. was one of the several men who harmed her alongside Diddy during a violent 2018 encounter. The rap mogul's legal team is calling BS on allegations, and so is Odell Beckham Jr. The woman, Ashley Farham, first described the incident in a lawsuit that was filed in federal court back in October 2024. She initially stated that Diddy and several other John Does attacked her at a Northern California residence after she had made a comment about Tupac's murder during a FaceTime call with Diddy at a bar about a month prior. In the amended complaint, she's including Odell's name and comedian Drewski. She claims that Diddy held a knife to her face, covered her with lubricant, and R-worded her with a remote. Drewski eventually jumped on top of her and knocked the wind out of her when he treated her body like a slip and slide. She claimed then he began harming her. Drewski said these allegations are lies. It was fabricated. I wasn't a public figure in 2018. I was broke, living with my mom, and had no connections to the entertainment industry. Here's a TikTok of somebody talking about Drewski's involvement.
Now, it's a lot of things that I believe about Drewski, okay? It's a lot of shit that I don't put past him. But what they say about him being wrapped up in his Diddy case, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I just can't believe it. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of things that I am, but a naive ass bitch ain't one of them, okay? I don't put nothing past nobody. But the facts just not adding up. You know what I mean? Like 2 + 2 not equaling 4.
Now, for Odell, he has blasted the claims, calling them stupid, and he says he's never been to the city where she claims this attack happened. Diddy's team also denied the allegation. Here's an official statement he put out. He said, "I've been informed of the allegations about me in a suit in California. I can't believe that my name is mentioned in the matter. I do not know or have ever met the person that filed the lawsuit. I've never been near this city in California, Orinda." Never heard of that before. I don't even think I've been there, he says. "I've never done anything like that, and I never would." Now, you may remember I mentioned that the Maui chief of police was mentioned in this lawsuit as well. So I thought this maybe happened in Hawaii, but it turns out that this guy named John Pelletier, while on a trip to California, pretended to be a local sheriff in 2018 after this woman, Ashley, claims Diddy and others harmed her. Here's a picture of John, the guy that is being accused. Ashley claims that she eventually fled the house and a neighbor called the police, which is when John, who was allegedly working as security for Diddy at the time, told Ashley and her neighbor that they received several noise complaints and instructed Ashley to go home. She says that John did not offer to take her home, call for emergency services like an ambulance or anything like that. He did not help her recover her clothing or any personal items from the apartment where she was harmed. Even though John is denying everything, claiming he's never done anything like this, the Maui County Mayor, Richard, he actually called on him to be put on administrative leave pending an investigation into the lawsuit. So I don't know what the Maui County Mayor knows, but he knows something enough to go and get this guy on leave. But that wraps up our Let's Get Into It podcast. I want to hear what you guys think of this episode in the comments below. Did you enjoy it? I love hanging out with you guys, so thank you for being here, and I'll see you in next week's episode. Bye, guys.